Hello, everybody. I'm Rainbow, and welcome to Dimensional Walking. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Um, I'm trying to figure out probably the best way to do this because I don't want it to be something that's kind of like a diatribe where I'm getting into something that it bothers me. I want to kind of talk about it because I'm trying to figure out an understanding of something that I came across this past week that kind of bothered me, and I was wondering how you all felt about it. As many of you, I like to every once in a while check out YouTube and see what's going on and see what topics come up. And there was a topic that came up in my feed, and it said ex psychic. And I went, what's an ex psychic? Is that like an ex wife, ex husband, ex CIA, ex FBI? How do you become an ex psychic? I didn't really understand that. So I clicked on it because I was very curious. And come to find out, it was a channel that was interviewing a woman who was an ex psychic. And she had been talking about a few things that just really riled me up because I'm one of those people where I've been on a spiritual path as millions and millions of people, billions, and I think that I don't I'm not one of those people where I blame an object or a thing for a decision I've made or for an experience I've had. Basically what she said was that crystals and herbs are evil and that or they're dark and that it's basically has something to do with the devil. And in my whole life of dealing with any of this, and I've been working with herbs and crystals for 40 years, maybe a little longer. My grandmother was a curandera. She used to heal people. She was, from what I understand, one of the most amazing women. I didn't get to meet her because she passed away at child when she was having, let's see, the child after my mother, obviously. But what was interesting to me about this whole topic was taking things to me out of context, and I didn't really quite understand it. First of all, crystals aren't evil. The intention of the person can be good or bad. Herbs aren't evil. Herbs actually heal people. What do they think medicine is based from? Medicine is based from herbs and things that have been healing people for thousands upon thousands of years. So, one thing that was targeted was sage because the Native Americans used sage to cleanse an area, to do ceremony, to basically let the spiritual world know that they're going to be doing something. It's either to cleanse, to get rid of negative energy, or it's basically a saging to let the spirit world know that you're going to be doing some kind of meditation, ceremony, whatever it is that you're going to be doing. And according to this woman, it's something that is evil, it's dark. And I was just flabbergasted at that. In all my years of using sage, I have never, ever known anybody to call it that unless they were someone who had no knowledge of what sage is used for. And this is a woman who understood what it was used for. I didn't understand how she flip flopped from one using it to calling it evil. She called crystals evil. She used to work with crystals. She used to work with all kinds of things when she was, quote unquote, a psychic. And all of a sudden, now all these things that she worked with made her think they were evil. And it really boils down to this. I don't think this woman was happy when she was learning all these things because it really comes down to who you are and how you're feeling about yourself in life at the moment. And if you're learning all this stuff to fulfill you because you're empty inside, it's not going to fill you up. It's not going to make you whole. So because she didn't feel any better when she was learning how to use crystals, learning how to be a psychic, and learning how to use herbs, including sage, it didn't make her happy. So therefore, I guess to her, it was something that was causing her unhappiness instead of taking the responsibility of her mindset when she was using all of these things. So the only way you can become an ex psychic to me is to block the God-given talents and abilities that connect us to him or to the universe, to whoever, Buddha, however you believe, Muhammad. If you're an ex-psychic, then you're blocking what is given to us to actually connect with Source, with God. And why? I'll tell you why. Because of a specific religions think that, and I'm not, look, my parents were devout Catholics. I have friends who are Buddhists. I have friends who, as myself, I've learned to travel the road of the medicine way. I have friends who are, who've been Baptist, who, you name it. I have friends from every religion there is, and I respect them all. And I think that if they make you happy and that they connect you to God, then that's the way to go. But one thing that I do know is that the Native Americans, from the friends that I've had, never point a finger at any religion and basically say, that religion is evil or wrong. They basically just don't have an opinion and allow people to be who they need to be. It's about not controlling others based on saying what's good and what's evil. And in a way, it's kind of fear-mongering to say that crystals and herbs are evil. There's nothing evil about them. It's the intent of the person using them that can be negative. And I don't think using sage has ever, as far as in my use, been a negative or bad thing. As a matter of fact, I love the smell. And I know that when I use it in my home or in cleansing a room, it's a reminder to me that there is great and awesome and wonderful beings in the universe that are looking out for us. It's a reminder. Just like incense. It'd be like saying incense is evil. Well, I come from the perspective of, I believe that when I use incense, I'm letting all the angels and the archangels know that they're there, and it's my way of saying, hey, I love you, and I'm using incense because I want you to know that I'm thinking of you. It boils down to the very person that is using all of these things, and I just couldn't get rack my brain around the fact that this woman is basically saying everything that she had learned is, she poo-pooed it and trashed it and said that it's evil and negative. Well, I think her mindset has a lot to do with that, and I guess that's kind of what I wanted to say. There's nothing that we use if we're on our spiritual path to God, to the universe, to Buddha, to Muhammad, whoever, however you believe, that if we're on a path to discovering and rediscovering God and bliss and joy and light and love and the truth, there's nothing wrong with that unless we make it wrong. It's choices. If I choose to do something, then I'm held to the consequences to that choice. And it's not, if I use a crystal and something negative happens, it's not the crystal that's at fault. It's my intention. It's my thought. Because I truly believe that we are made from Source. We have Source in us. And God, if we use our intention for great and awesome and wonderful things, great and awesome and wonderful things will happen. If you don't believe in what you intend, it's not going to work. If you block what you intend, obviously it's not going to work. And if you come from a negative space where you're a little dark, you can't intend something with a higher vibration because it just doesn't work that way in this universe. The one thing that I love about the angels is they're always pulling us up and raising our vibrations and trying to raise us up so that we can be in a good place for us to make good decisions. And I think that if this woman would have looked at this particular view of how she dealt with it, and it was, and it's her experience, and she has every right to believe in how she believes. But I question how things that have been used for thousands of years can all of a sudden just turn and be evil for her. I don't understand that. And it all has to do with intention. It all has to do with choice. And it all has to do with our mindset of who we are at the moment we do any of these things, especially if we're out there helping people. I can't help anybody if I can't help myself. So the first person that I have to make happy is me. The first person that I have to free from any of the chains of illusion, delusion, negative energy, negative influences is me. I have to free myself before I can help anybody else, because I have to come from the place of experience. I have to know what I'm doing. Heck, 40 years of trying to figure this all out, and I have not ever once come across a crystal that was evil. They're actually very beautiful. I've never come across any herbs that, unless they're taken in the wrong way or given to somebody in the wrong way, are bad. It all has to do with just really your mindset and how happy you are with your life. It's about your life path. So I wanted to share that with you because it just flabbergasted me that this woman all of a sudden did a 180 and decided that all these things that she had been using are negative and bad. I don't understand it. And it gave me food for thought, and it made me think about how on our path that we walk, whether it's the medicine way, whether it doesn't matter, as we're walking our path, if we travel the general highway, we're always going to see things either as good or evil. We're always going to see things from that blinder way where you don't look from right or to left. And I always believe that if there's something that's not working for you as you're walking your path, take another path. Walk a different direction. And I'm not saying negative or bad. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that, if there's a path over here, take it. And that path will probably be the one that leads you closer to God. I'm not saying that in changing your path, that means going from good to evil. That has nothing to do with this. It has to do with how you see life. Do something to change it, to make it better and more worthwhile for you. And if it means going a different path, which could actually mean changing jobs, something as simple as that, change your job, or moving to a different state, or even just moving from one apartment from one part of the town to another, or if it just means not staying home and being bored with that, going out and going on hikes. It could just mean changing your habitual way of living your life. That's all it means. But it doesn't mean that you have to make anything around you evil. It just means that you can actually choose to see the beautiful aspects of life and how we live. And we can really choose to see things through the eyes of good and light and love, or someone who can prove to themselves continually over and over again how miserable they are. And confirmation, you can have it either way. You could, yes, if you're miserable, you're correct. Yes, if you're happy, you're correct. You confirm for yourself who you are and what you are. But let's be careful what we blame because of not taking responsibility of our mindset at the moment. It's not a religion's fault. It's not an object's fault of what happens to us. Yeah, there's exceptions to every rule, because I know there's haunted objects. I think there's haunted locations. But I think if we don't X our psychic ability and block it, we'll know to stay away from those things, or we'll know when we're around them to be cautious. It's just you can't X and block out what's our right as humans to have. Our psychic ability has to me been given from the heavens. And why block it? That's also another problem, is to block that. So that's just kind of how I feel about this. This is kind of like, I didn't understand where this woman was coming from. And that's okay. I don't have to understand where she's coming from. And she does have every right to believe the way that she does. But I just wanted to let you all know that we're all on our path, and you all are amazing, and there's nothing to blame. We don't even have to blame ourselves. It's that in this life we learn and we don't learn. And either way, of whatever our experiences are, there's a lesson in it, whether we think there is or there isn't. It's just life, living life and being the best we can be. So tell me what you think. What do you think? Can you be an ex-psychic? That's my number one question. Can we be an ex-psychic? Are crystals bad? Are herbs bad? What's your experiences with crystals and with herbs? What do you think about? Can you go from one way of thinking to another, and then all of a sudden decide things are evil and dark? I'm sure everybody has a legit explanation or thinking on all of this, and I don't want to judge anybody, just even if you don't believe in how I believe or think the way that I do. I'm just curious if you all feel the same way I do, or if you don't. So comment in down below, let me know, and if you have any other questions about anything that has to do with the paranormal, you can always write to Michael and I at dimensionalwalking@gmail.com. So thank you so much for listening in to, I don't think this was a diatribe. Maybe it was just sharing something with you all that kind of bothered me a little bit. And thank you for being willing to come in on this video and listen in. So take care. And I always look forward to seeing you all in the next video. And if you have any friends you think will enjoy these videos, please share our channel with your friends. If there's a video that you particularly like, please share that with your friends. And if you have any topic ideas for Michael or me, please feel free to comment in, because I can always use some help with an idea for the next video. And some of you have helped me, and I greatly appreciate that. So take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.